Hi, I'm Ross Benjamin reporting for the Offshore Gaming Association. That's OSGA.com, your number one source for information on the offshore sportsbook industry. That's OSGA.com. It's time for another edition of my college football underdog picks. And folks, I'm only going to give you two picks this week instead of the customary three due to the condensed schedule in college football at this stage of the season. The regular season ended last Saturday. We're looking at 8 conference championship games to be played between Friday and Saturday. I'm going to focus on 2 of those contests. Also, keep in mind, I'm currently taping on Tuesday, the 27th of November, so these lines are subject to change depending on when you view this video. Let's start with the Pac-12 championship game to be played on Friday evening in Santa Clara, California, Levi Stadium, the home of the San Francisco 49ers. It pits the Utah Utes against the Washington Huskies. Both teams come in with identical 9-3 records, and currently as we speak, 5 Dimes has Utah as a 5.5-point underdog in this contest. This is a Utah Utes team that will be out to revenge an earlier season 21-7 home loss to these very same Washington Huskies. Also, Utah began this season 2-2. They since have gone 7-1, and they're in position to win their first ever Pac-12 football title. That's the Utah Utes since joining the conference back in 2011. Washington, on the other hand, there's an emotional standpoint, an emotional angle I want to look at in regards, I should say, to the Washington Huskies. First off, this was a team that had national championship aspirations to begin the year. Me, for one, picked this team to get to the college football playoffs at the beginning of the year. I wasn't the only expert who did so. There was many nationally that did as well. Experienced Washington team on both sides of the ball. 4-year starter at quarterback in Jake Browning. Yet the Huskies went just 9-3, and I say just 9-3. And I'm comparatively using that to what their aspirations were to enter the season. I really thought this was a team that was going to run the table, go 12-0, win the Pac-12 title game, and get into the playoffs. That did not occur. However, here's the other part of that emotional equation. At 8-3, they went into Pullman, Washington last week to take on the 10-1 Washington State Cougars. Who would have thought that Washington State, heading into that game, would have been the team with a lot on the line and not Washington. Washington State was then ranked number 7 in the college football playoff rankings, yet Washington went in there and spoiled their dreams of reaching the playoffs as they thoroughly handled the Washington State Cougars by the score of 28-15 in a game that really wasn't as close as the final score would even indicate. Now, a week after that stirring win, which was definitely their high point of the year, they're now going to play in the conference title game against a team they already defeated by 2 touchdowns on the road earlier this year. I just don't see how Washington is going to match the intensity or have the focus as they did last week at Washington State. On the other hand, as I touched upon, Utah is playing for their first ever Pac-12 title, and I am going to take the Utah Utes here in this situation, plus the 5.5 over Washington. Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, will be the Big Ten championship game between the Northwestern Wildcats and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Northwestern enters this game with a record of 9-3, while Ohio State is at 11-1, and Ohio State currently ranked number 6 in the college football rankings, playoff rankings, I should say. They're going to need a win here and a little bit of help, namely, for example, LSU and Georgia getting knocked off, and then they may have a chance to sneak in to the college football playoffs. But it all starts with this game right here, and it's not going to be as easy as this line will indicate. Right now, Bovada is showing Northwestern as a 14.5-point underdog in this contest. And remember, Ohio State went into Columbus, Ohio last week on their home turf against a Michigan Wolverines team 10-1 at that particular time, number 4 in the college football playoff rankings, and in the driver's seat to get to the college football playoffs. But the Buckeyes absolutely lambasted their arch rival by a score of 62-39, thus putting themselves in position now to possibly get to the college football playoffs. This is also a Northwestern team that lost their conference opener to the Michigan Wolverines 20-17 on their home field, and then went 7-0 in conference play the rest of the year. Under under Pat Fitzgerald, easy for me to say. This is a Northwestern team that's gone 15-3 in their last 18 games as a conference underdog, and that includes 6-0 against the spread as a conference dog this season, while they won 5 of those 6 games outright. And they're going to be facing an Ohio State team defensively that's been very vulnerable over the second half of the season. As a matter of fact, the Buckeyes have allowed 31 points or more in 4 of their last 5 games. They've also allowed 450 yards or more 5 times this season, and they're going to be facing a Northwestern defense that's allowed 20 points or fewer in 7 of their 8 Big Ten Conference games this year. I'm going to take the Northwestern Wildcats here, plus the 14.5 over Ohio State. Once again, Utah plus 5.5 over Washington. Northwestern plus 14.5 over Ohio State. Be sure to visit me at my website, rbwins.com, where you can purchase all the games I bet the most money on. It's rbwins.com, where you pay a little to make a lot. Until the next time, good luck with all your picks.